Here's what you missed this month on the Gifted Sounds Network. Bantucentric.
Do what you love, do your passion, live your truth, and honestly, one thing I will never forget, there was an interview that Cher did where she said her mother told her she needed to settle down and marry a rich man. And she said, but mom, I am a rich man. And I was like, yes, sis, that is the attitude that you have to take. I don't need a man to accomplish these things. I want a man. She said men are like dessert.
Yeah.
She loves men. She's like, men are great. I love men, but I don't need one. I am me. I am doing me. I am amazing in my own. And I don't need a man to raise me to another level or to make me feel worthy or to give me value. I can enjoy a man just like I can enjoy a piece of chocolate cake. But do I need a piece of chocolate cake? No.
I guess I feel like that's something that is difficult to get to, though. Again, I can only come at this from my standpoint as a man, you know, but just as a person who is accustomed to
Doing the most.
Back all the way to elementary school, I was always in the principal's office. I had to sit in the front for disciplinary reasons, you know, just like so bad with grades. And it wasn't that I was dumb. Like, I'm not dumb. I know I'm not dumb. But it was in regards to just being bored with what I was doing and goofing off. And that translated all throughout my, you know, I have a college degree, you know, like I didn't stop at elementary school, but I didn't get into any high schools, straight up. The only thing that I will say got me into a high school was the fact that I played baseball and basketball. I'm 6'5", I'm athletic, you know, well, at that point I was athletic. I can't say I'm athletic anymore. But I literally didn't get into a high school. After the graces of my network getting me into a private school that I wanted to attend, I was on the verge of getting kicked out after 1 year, so I left. Then the second high school I went, which was way better for sports and things of that nature, I got kicked.
Let's be real sports.
Because in Toronto, they were talking about, yo, we have a chance to win the championship. Our window's still open. We need to pull the trigger on a trade to make sure we can do this.
I'm gonna tell you.
And they said, yo, we're gonna take a chance 1 year on Kawhi.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing. They took.
Oklahoma City was not winning no goddamn championship.
First of all,
come on, man.
There's championship contenders, right? People look maybe now recently with the two first round exits, or is it 3 since Durant left?
Look at that.
2 or 3 first round exits.
They haven't moved much.
What I'm saying is that when Sam Presti made the move for Paul George, it was to replace Kevin Durant, even if it was on a smaller scale, because Kevin Durant essentially is, of course, better than Paul George. But Paul George was an MVP caliber player this year until he hurt his shoulder, right?
Okay.
He was in that conversation. He was playing MVP ball.
Okay.
Pondering Nerdcast.
The characters, like, okay, I'm basing this character off of Denzel Washington. Like, he gon', like, you know, something like that.
Actually, like, the protagonist didn't come to me in that sense, but I definitely wanted to create someone that embodied, like, very, like natural, even her talents, like, with the earth. Like, I wanted to be, like, very much, like in a person that, like, if I saw a black woman, like, I'd be like, wow, she's, like, you know, she must be very, like, into, like who she is as a person and confident. And so I definitely wanted the person to, like, have, like, a natural, like, I like the idea of her having, like, locks. And I definitely like the idea of her being, like, of a darker, like, black woman, like, just, like, the embodiment of power. And so if I had to cast someone, I don't think there's anyone right now that I would kind of, like, could look at and just say.
Super Upper Punch.
GSN Court of Arbitration said that there was not enough evidence to show Caster Semenya and other female athletes with naturally high testosterone levels had a significant advantage in that event. And the IF is like, nah.
You see what I mean? Like, it's and I also think it's partly racial as well. And I should say this much as she's accomplished as an athlete and stuff like that, she hasn't broken any world records. And I think isn't that the big argument about people who are transitioning, who are athletes, that they say that, oh, well, if a man, is transitioned to a woman and then goes into women's sports and breaks all these women records, is it fair? And it's
because there was that weightlifter. Was it weightlifter that did it?
There is a weightlifter that did it.
Yeah, that she transitioned from male to female and then just started crushing all the records.
Right, exactly. So that's
and I could see why someone would be upset at that. I understand it.
The Defended podcast.
Megasonic Warhead.
And the Asian girl.
Right, I'm forgetting the other character's name.
I don't remember.
But it's, they're there. They stand next to each other, but there's no body language to intimate that they're actually a couple.
No, I feel like they held hands like at the end. I feel like it was very like Megasonic was like on her phone and she
it was minimal like that. It was minimal like that.
And I feel like.
But do you not see how absurd it is? If you can have, this is what I mean, where people just need to stop passing out cookies for no reason when people are actually being super offensive. Because if you can have Deadpool talking about getting pegged in Deadpool 1, but you can't have a blatant, obvious line about a queer couple, then you're not actually being progressive.
You're not.
And
you're
stop
wasting
asking
our
for
time.
fucking peanuts, man. It's like when they were promoting The Runaways on Hulu, and every 3 seconds they were like, this is a show about diversity. Look at all these diverse people. Look, we have a black, we have a Spanish, we have a black and a Spanish. Yes, there's one of each, but look, we have them. His hair looks horrible.
Titty Talk Show.
When you start your sex activities, you should make sure to have your ingredients nearby, like water.
Okay.
Maybe some fruits, things to flush the throat,
some
if that ever.
An AED.
Some fruit snacks when you're
An AED nearby.
For those of you who like to,
So get some liquid with some electrolytes, some fruits. You know
Some
what I mean?
Pepsi.
a warm rag to wipe down.
A plastic bed bug sheet.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. First of all,
No.
the thing that goes over your mattress, it can be soft and nice, and it's just the very first cover for your mattress, and then everything else is over it.
You stack it.
Yeah.
And protect
layer.
your
Yeah.
mattress.
Yeah.
From what?
From everything.
But
And
here's
then
the
your
thing.
mattress
If you
looks brand
know-
new whenever
but
you
also,
take it off.
I should
Okay,
say that
that's fair.
I think that you should warn your partner, like, hey, I come a lot, or you're
Right,
multi-orgasmic,
those
or I
are-
squirt a lot. Then you'll prepare. Like, you don't have to have sex.
You
on the
make
bed.
those preparations
Like,
in anticipation of how much fluids you anticipate.
Don't be like me when I was younger.
Well, Villanelle.
And not in a wanton fashion like she might if she was just having a bad day because someone's directing her energy. But you're telling me it's not scarier to have a woman who is going under the radar her entire life, floating in this normalcy, masquerading as a normal person, but depending on the day, she could stab you. Depending on the day, she could say, fuck you, if you're on my team, you could fucking die. She could leave you bleeding on the fucking floor. It's not a problem. She could see your throat slit. She's not gonna have a problem with it. How is Eve not the monster? How is she not also the void? How are we suddenly making comparisons to say, oh, she's not like Villainelle, she's not the void, when literally that's what we see with Eve? I don't know. You were the one who pointed this out to me when I was like, read this article, it's a great article. And then you're like, but what about that last part? And I was like, oh.
I was like, I'm not dealing with this. This doesn't work for me. Sorry.
Oh, I just found the other excerpt you wanted to talk about, which was Eve's quest for sexual release through proxies reaches a crescendo in the penultimate episode of the season. Hugo and Eve are in Rome, shadowing Villanelle's progress with Aaron and listening to breathy teasing sighs, which, let's just pause back.
Be sure to head over to giftedsounds.com and try a podcast today.
Keep moving.